What's going on, you guys? Your boy Lone Wolf, and welcome back to another episode review of Dexter's New Blood. Yo, we are like at the mid season of Dexter New Blood, and everything is picking up really, really rough. And I'm telling you, like, it is pretty much a lot shocking. And I mean, it's not so much of shocking because it's like a lot was going on. Now we get to see what's going on with Harrison and everything like that. That Dexter, pretty much the guy's cover is completely blown at this point. I'll tell you that right now. But before I go any further, just to let y'all know this is a spoiler warning. So if y'all have not seen Dexter's New Blood episode 7 yet, click off this video right away. Otherwise, I'll give y'all 3 seconds to click off. Alright, here we go. Y'all been warned. Alright, so we pick up where we left off, where Dexter meets up with his girlfriend. I don't know how the hell I forgot her name. I think it was Angela. I think it was the cop, basically. So basically they pick up where we left off from there, and then Dexter and the girl is pretty much asking Dexter to investigate the body of her friend Iris and see what happened to her. Her whole body is pretty much decomposed, and we see a bullet hole through her, from her back through her chest, and you see the bracelet. And yeah, basically, Dexter's being Dexter, the forensic guy. And you pretty much see that, Dexter pretty much brings it up to her that she's been shot from the back and she was buried alive. And she was still alive while she was buried in the Clark's cave. So pretty much, and then there was like a little bite mark, like skin from her teeth, I believe it was. And, they picked up that little evidence and about to review it, So yeah, but anyways, after that, fast forward through that, Harrison is pretty much getting a little bit more worse now. It's like now he's getting pretty much like really completely on edge, like always angry. Like you could tell he cares about his dad. His dad is trying his very best. Dexter's trying his very best to be supportive of his son, which we get it. Dexter abandoned you. And he felt that he didn't love you and everything, but that's not true. We all know that Dexter loves his son, which is why he's worked as hard as he did. So yeah, Dexter goes to visit his son, which in all actuality he's actually confronting Kurt in person, trying to support his son, his new job and everything, because he said like, I'm gonna still do the job. And Dexter, you could tell, Dexter throughout this season, he pretty much doesn't try to tell Harrison what to do because he knows he doesn't really deserve that, right? Yet, even though he is still his father, he still has to look after him, he still raise him. But he's been gone for like almost like 10 years out of his life, so he's trying to recuperate, be there as much as possible. So yeah, Kurt pretty much shows up, and basically it's at this point Kurt actually already knows who Dexter really, not necessarily know who he is, but he actually is very suspicious of him. He's very interested in him, and he's like wondering like, why are you following me and all this other stuff, like who are you? And then Dexter is pretty much speaking in his head that I'm the one who kills bad people like you, serial killers basically. So they have this little Dexter and Trinity killer type of moment, and the cops come in, and the rest of the gang, the cops came in and arrest Kurt because now they confirm that the skin that Dexter pulled out from Iris's teeth, it matches to Kurt. But but that's the craziest part. Come find out that it's a familiar match, so they can't really confirm it that it's actually him because it's old. years old type of um evidence. So you can't really confirm it completely. That's why Dexter pretty much like, oh my goodness, like when they find out that well, like when Dexter went back to the cabin, it really just goes to show you that that um and it's like shows you that the whole Dexter and his girl joining forces, like it's like watching Dexter and Deborah, his sister Deborah, all over again. But yeah, but back to the whole the whole cabin. Dexter pretty much shows girl at the cabin to see if that he's actually the killer and everything that kidnapped the girls. Which, if obviously she's already fully aware that it's him, that he's the killer, but she's trying to do it in the justice way, like that. And when they go to the cabin, you basically Kurt just pretty much stripped everything, cleaned out through that cabin, like the bathtubs and everything. I'm like, damn, like that was crazy. Like he was stripping everything out, like all the evidence. And then Dexter realized that his girl's basically going everything, betting her life all on that years old decade um skin DNA. And Dexter's like, Deborah's right, I'm gonna have to kill him. Because like there's no other way out of it. So anyways, but that's not the craziest. The craziest part was the fact that when Harrison was working, but before I get that, Harrison was working, but then he meets up with this guy and gives Harrison this envelope. And Harrison takes the envelope and says, give this to your dad. And he was like, oh, okay. And pretty much like Harrison wakes up in the morning, gives Dexter the envelope, telling him that there's some guy that probably knows Kurt, want to give it to you. Which, by the way, you already know that Kurt's already in jail, in prison, which we're going to get to that as well. And what's inside the envelope is like a little bolt. So, and he was like, what is this? So, but that's the craziest part. So here, the craziest part was the fact that when Kurt's being interviewed by the cops about Iris's death, he fabricated this whole story to make it seem like his father was the one who killed Iris and killed all these women, all these missing women. And it's like, and they show you the whole story that it was him the whole time that killed Iris, which pretty much they already know that he killed Iris. He just made it seem like, oh, my father, shot her in the back. It was just so funny the fact that he picked her up from the side of the street. She was hitchhiking. And he was telling like, it's kind of dangerous. I gotta take you back home, and she just freaks out. And then he's like trying to calm her down, and she bites him, which that's how the DNA came to be on her teeth. And she runs out. This is one thing that don't make no sense to me. She runs out, and then he's like, "I'm trying to help you, you stupid," with the B word. And then he grabs a sniper rifle and just shoots her in the back. And I'm like, how's that helping her? Yeah, you helping her by putting a bullet in her back. Like, that's crazy. Yeah, that's really crazy. That just goes to show you that he's really a psychopath. But yeah, so they cleared him because they realized that since it's a familial match, it is completely a high chance that his story checks out. Because him and his father share the same DNA. So they had to let him go. She's kind of messed up. But after that, before all that interrogation, we go back to the point where Kurt was in prison and is in a holding cell, and Dexter pretty much sneaks into the holding cell and presents him the envelope that he gives him. And then that's when you come to find out that he said titanium doesn't melt in fire. When you realize, I was like, he knows that Dexter, he pretty much at this point, Kurt knows that Dexter is not his son. And I was like, what? So why you found out is the very mystery. Like, has he been following Dexter this whole time? or is he aware that he is like a serial killer, or has he pretty much could tell that he's a serial killer? We don't know. How he knows that he kills his son is completely unknown. All we know is that he knows now, and Dexter finds out about it. Basically, Kurt's son has like a injury, a scar on his left leg, and it's like a huge scar. So they basically that little bolt titanium is actually keeping his leg together, basically. So, and he had surgery. So because that little bolt did not melt, there's evidence that he knows that his son is pretty much murdered by Dexter, which is pretty much he already confirmed. What he has planned for Dexter, we don't know. But that's not the craziest part. The craziest part is let's get to the Harrison segment. So Harrison comes out the trash, and the guys that he did that he went up against in his wrestling match, they want revenge against Harrison for breaking their captain's arm off, breaking his captain's arm. Immediately Harrison brings out his knife. And he's trying to cut one of them, trying to kill them, and then Dexter comes in, grabs him, and everything. And then pretty much like he tells Harrison like, "Yo, calm down." And Harrison gets upset, blows, and then he tells Dexter that he remembers everything. Like all he keeps thinking about is killing people. So you realize that's when you find out that Harrison remembers everything. Where the Trinity killer kills his mother right in front of him, and while he was in a pool of blood, and that was crazy. And you see. I never thought you'll see the Trinity killer. Like John Lithgow, like you never thought I'll see him, but you see that he's actually telling Harrison that it's okay, Daddy's coming home soon. And you see the blood, and you see Rita's body on the tub. I was like, wow, man. So Harrison remembers everything, and then he just bolts off. And then Dexter realized that he has to tell him everything, which before I go any further, Molly and Dexter's girlfriend are kind of suspicious of Dexter now. So because they realize that how did Dexter knows that because in the previous episode Dexter followed Kurt and Molly down to the cabin, and Molly was like, how did he know that what our conversation was about? Like he can't hear us from the very distance that they were at in the restaurant. And she realized that it was his phone that he was recording the whole time. So what was he trying to do? So now my theory is that are they trying to pin it to seem that Dexter and Kurt are actually working together? So we don't know, because it looks like they're going to that little end goal, but we don't know yet. But yeah, back to the when Harrison bolted, Dexter realized that he has to tell his son the full truth, like what he is, that he is a serial killer, that you are just like me, and about his mother's death, that he already avenged his mother's death, his wife and Harrison's mother's death already. He already avenged Rita's death. So it's just like it was all a bunch of crazy. But then the episode ended when Dexter gets kidnapped, and I'm like, oh man, I was so bad. I was like, no, damn. I like the ending credits on the show. Went back to the segment where Rita's death was still in the bathtub, some blood splashing from the bathtub and everything. I was like, damn. So Harrison remembers everything, you guys. That was just crazy. But yeah, and that was it. That was that was my review of this episode. Man, I give this episode I'll give it an 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10. Really, really good. It could have been better, but the build up was really good. And like those are like the part where you pretty much like actually eight's fine. Eight's fine. I was thinking of a 7, but that whole thing with the Trinity Killer and Harrison remember everything, that what blew me over. I'm telling you that right now. That blew me over. I was like, what? He remembers, and then Kurt knows that Dexter is the one who killed his son. And I was like, well, how do you know? Like, it gets you all the questions. It gets you in your head. But yeah, man. Really good episode. Very definitely looking forward to episode 8. You guys saw the preview of that. That looked really good. Oh man, it's not doesn't look like it's gonna be looking too good. Me and my brother, we had a conversation about this because we saw the The episode we were like going at it, was like, yo, that's all we were talking about. It's like, damn, Harrison remembers the Trini killer killing his mother. Wow. But yeah, but anyways, that's it for this episode. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification, tell me what y'all think about episode 7, and I'll see y'all on the next episode, on episode 8 review. All right.